Jernee and I were brought in to Vive at the same time. So probably important to qualify with that. I joined the company to lead their change management function, specifically changes to the product, but also overall changes to the business. And one of the challenges Vive was encountering prior to this engagement really centered around a lack of alignment on roles and responsibilities, clear defined processes, and just the lack of industry standard and best practices to apply to a company that designs, engineers, manufactures, and builds its own product. So Vive is unique that they are fully integrated, even upstream, including some supply chain items. And when you have a business that is that complex, it's really difficult for people with, they're coming from subject matter expertise in one area, but the business accounts for all of it. So you've got a lot of different cooks in that kitchen, and we needed a voice of overall subject matter expertise when it comes to the management of a product and change control to that product. And that was Jernee for us. So they came in to a company that was in a pretty chaotic state and needed a lot of guidance and had a lot of complexities and siloed organizations that Jernee had to come in and learn. So the first few weeks, and there was a previous discovery engagement that just kind of assessed the overall problem, but the first few weeks of the engagement, they did a full court press to approach each organization within the business, understand their function, and get a comprehensive, like, Eagles perspective of, okay, what does each part of this business do? How are they currently working, and what are the challenges there, so that they could transition into providing training resources and guidance on how we should structure our bill of materials and how we should manage that. So we did two parts. We did, let's provide a knowledge repository for training of how to use our PLM system and all the roles and responsibilities that should relate to that. And then the second part was an audit of our bill of materials. Some of the challenges that we encountered, and these really were a result of Vive issues, not a Jernee. And the thing I appreciated the most about Trisha and her team was that they were so willing and able to adapt to some of these challenges that we encountered and make sure that we could still deliver the overall goals of the engagement successfully. So, for example, when it came to the BOM audit, we realized after we started the BOM audit that Vive had not properly resourced for people to complete the BOM audit. So we had to pivot a bit, and Trisha was able to pull in additional resources to, like, more hands. And we adjusted some of the scope of our initial training plan, but they were just such great partners to work with to make sure that, hey, if we find a bump in the road, which always happens, how do we work together to get past that? So on the other end, we were able to close the engagement still completing our overall goals and objectives, even though they were a little different in size and outcome than we thought. And now, because of that, we have at Vive a much more clear plan of what we need to change and why. So now it's on us to go and take action, but we have the roadmap and some of the tools and the reference materials that they gave us. They gave us an entire Confluence import of, slide deck recap, SOPs for each recommendation that they're making, detailed descriptions and tables and references for how we should change our part numbering, how we should restructure our BOM, roles and responsibilities. Like, they gave us the roadmap. Now we just have to incorporate it into our Vive culture and documentation. So that's a whole other, elephant to eat, but
that's the other big piece of it. But that's good. No, I'm excited for you guys, and I'm so glad that the partnership was able to provide an outcome that allowed you to get to a place where now you have a clear path, you have the roadmap to follow, and hopefully be able to lead to more business and more efficient work within the organization as a whole. So,
yeah. And I think the thing that I personally appreciated the most about Trisha and the Jernee team is that the way that they communicate and their soft skills to engage with stakeholders and really speak specifically about things that are happening and need to change and why, and to just convey the point in a way that gets the person they're working with to understand it and be willing to accept it. Like, that's one of the challenges I think a lot of companies encounter, is that, you know, there might be like direction, but it's not provided in a way where the recipient truly understands it and feels empowered to act on it. And I watched them have conversations with people, and even some resistant types of stakeholders, and be able to speak with authority, but in a way that is empathetic and really connects with the person they're working with. So I think that was probably one of their most valuable skills. Is the expertise is great, but if you can't deliver it in a way and have the rapport with the person that you're working with, you know, doesn't do a company much good. So I something else Trisha personally did, which I don't know if it's usually within the scope, but it was helpful to me and to our executive leadership team, is that when we wrapped up the entire engagement, we had discovered a few challenges, like certain people that were on the wrong seat on the bus, let's call it, or people that just had attitudes or ways of working that were not going to be able to allow Vive to succeed. We could see that. And she was willing to have a very, you know, confidential, private conversation with the right people on our executive leadership team to make sure that they understood, you know, here's all the stuff we delivered for the engagement. It's all wrapped up and handed over, so it's actionable. But let's have a chat about some of this, your org chart, and things that need to change, and behavioral issues that we observe, so you guys can go and make these decisions about how to approach strategic staffing changes. And that we have already seen actioned, and I think we're in a much better position as an organization to know that we have the right leaders in position.